How do YouTube? 2 videos in 2 days, so God only knows what's happened there. What you see before you here is the Contemptor pattern dreadnought for the Night Lords. Lighting's not too great in here as per the norm. Let's bring that down a touch. See what I can do to just tweak that a bit. Okay, so the lighting now is incredibly bright, but at least you can see what's going on with it. So yes, Contemptor pattern. As with most people's very early Contemptors, I've gone with the standard las cannons because I wanted it to have a bit of anti-tank killing, storm bolter in their power fist over at anti-troop, and obviously the power fist, so it can still, you know, spank people in the face. Night Lords, obviously, so I have included on there the Night Lords transfers around the front of the actual head in there, and also on the arms. Ooh, jerky tripod. On both the shoulder plates. Just bring him back to look square on at you again. He's a pretty mean looking guy. I do quite like him. I know Forge World are in the process of, or they've probably already got it cast, they're just waiting on the release for the Chaos Contemptor. The patterns and the rules for it are in their new Apocalypse book, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing those. It will be quite a good one. So, Necron Abyss for the body, as per the norm. Didn't really pick out any highlighted edges on the plates. I wanted it to look quite dark, quite dirty. And I've also left the lightning off it for this. I just wanted it to look a little bit different to the rest of the army, just so it stands out a bit. Also, it's more equipment than anything else. Having said that, my tanks have got lightning on them, so I might go back and add it at a later date, but I quite like it for its simplicity at the moment, because the eye then is really drawn on the model to the obvious focal point, which is that storm bolter in the fist there. Now, I'm not usually, well, I say not usually, I've never really had a go at it before, for source lighting. What you've got there, modelled into the bolter, 2 muzzle flashes, and lighting back onto the hand surrounding around there. Pretty new thing for me. I mean, I know I tried it on the actual heavy bolter in one of my tactical squads. I'm not too happy with this part here around the actual outside edge of the fist. It just looks too yellow, so I might Necron Abyss that over that and bring it down a couple of tones, because it just looks a bit too bright. No, not bright, a bit too colourful, that's the word I was looking for. But still, I quite like it. Chip the paint a little, so you can see areas like here. Zoom in on that. Ooh. It does not like focusing there. Zooming in, and hopefully it will hold the focus just into there. Nope, doesn't like it. Does not like it at all. You might be able to see just around the edges of the silver, there's a little area of lighter paint, same as on the shoulder pauldron, just up there, just to show a little bit of undercoat. That's a little tip and trick from good brother Brian. And a couple of transfers, which I've already mentioned. I went over all the rivets as well on here, and all of the rivets have been bronzed up to go a little bit of detail across the model. The pose itself was quite fun to try and do. I wanted it to look quite dynamic, because in the rule set for this dreadnought it has fleet, which, let's face it, is just freaking terrifying. I mean, if you think like the Tyranid Trigon also has fleet, you know, it comes running at you, shoots, and then still comes running at you to, you know, punch you in the face. Still assaults and does all sorts of damage to you. So I wanted to give it a pretty dynamic pose. So luckily, as it's a big kit of resin, it's actually modelled jumping off one of its cast blocks from Forge World. So he's got a pretty tenuous link there. I admit I have dropped him once and broken him off there. That did not feel good. But I'm quite pleased with the way he's turned out. Give you a once up the back of him. I think I've got the tripod done up a bit tight there. So that's up the back of him. But it is a beautiful cast kit. I will be getting more of them. I won't be getting the relic pattern Contemptor because it just does not fit in with the fluff for my army. I look at the relic patterns and I think that's for an actual 40k era that still has one of these, you know, serviced and in use and, you know, is a relic. Not so much for something that's around in the pre-heresy era or the heresy era. The next one that I do, hey, I'm allowed childish humour. I keep telling you, I'm always tired when I do these things. The next pattern that I will do, I'm going to have more of a braced stance. So he's just going to be standing on a solid brace stance. He's going to have the Keres missile launcher across the top of him, because it just looks meaty, and 2 assault cannons. Because from what I've seen of the fluff in the Apocalypse book, if you have that setup, I think it's called the Mortis setup, Brian was telling me, if it doesn't move the turn before, it gets the AA rule. And how cool is that? Just have it hammering up in the air, just like bringing down planes and aircraft and all sorts. It's going to be all sorts of awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching as per the norm, guys. This is actually the last thing I needed to get done to get my 1000-point list together. So I've got my 2 tactical squads, 10-man tactical squads, one of which is in a Rhino with a heavy bolter and a melter gun on board. The other is just a standing 10-man squad with a las cannon. I've got my 5-man assault squad, the sergeant of which has melter bombs and a plasma pistol and power fist, I believe. Do a 5-man Terminator squad, all armed with lightning claws, because it's just mean. And of course, what you see before you here is the Contemptor. The pièce de résistance to my 1000-point Night Lord list is Conrad Kurz himself, and that is being painted up for me by Black Sun Art Studios. My good buddy Brian built it for me and called in one of his good friends to do a pretty awesome paint job on it, and that should be back with me in theory this weekend, so we can put up a big old video of the 1000-point army all together on Brian's Apocalypse board, hopefully for this weekend. So stay tuned for that, guys. Play safe, have fun, and I will see you in the very near future. Chat to you later. Bye.